What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. I was planning to make this type of video a long time ago, but I wanted to wait until CBC was actually happening so that we can get a thorough walkthrough on what exactly it takes to accumulate a bunch of points in CBC. Obviously, if you spend money in this game, it's going to be a lot easier of a situation, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need to spend money in this game during CBC and still get a lot of points. So I think in this video, I want to show you guys how to exactly get as much points as possible, how to prepare yourself when you guys are going into CBC. We have our differing opinions on whether personal reward CBC is actually worth it. For example, we have a personal reward CBC happening right now. If you win this CBC, you get these rewards, and then your clan gets the rewards. I'm in tier 6, and then you also get a personal reward as well based on the amount of points that you put up in your previous personal reward CBC. So personally, I'm in tier 6. You need to hit over 400k during your personal reward CBC to basically qualify to be in tier 6 to have a chance at these extra rewards. And you only get these personal rewards if you win. So like I said, I'm going to show you guys in this video how exactly you guys want to maximize your points as you guys enter personal reward CBC. And no, it doesn't take, a crazy account or anything like that, but it does take a little bit of foresight and planning. So obviously in the beginning, you will have difficulty accumulating points. You want to be progressed in your account. You want to be able to farm, specific levels of dungeons, for example. The biggest thing here is if you're tackling normal dungeons, you want to tackle at least stage 25. So stage 25 is going to give you more points than the rest. And if you're in hard mode, you want to go into stage 10. Now they're going to give you the most points for dungeons, but they're actually not the best in terms of energy. They're going to give you tons of points if you have tons of energy, but they're not going to give you the best points per energy. The best points per energy actually comes from tag team arena. And this is where a lot of people get very, easy points quickly for low gem investment. So what you do is you basically commit your first couple of bags in tag team arena. You kind of just get your wins wherever you can get them. If you have multiple bags that you have to go through, you're gonna have to sit here and refresh a little bit. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean here. So we have a couple of easy teams here. This is what you want to be targeting. I'm also very high in my tag team fights right now. So I'm going to get some full teams, but if I'm down low, I'm going to get some one-man teams, some easy defenses here. So this one going to be very easy, easy points here, right? So I'm going to do a quick battle here. I'll show you guys exactly what happens. I'm in gold 2. Now, if you guys are in lower level tiers, it's going to be harder to find these easy defenses because most people don't, cooperate together in terms of how many, in terms of giving away these free defense wins. But you can kind of see here, one win gives me 660 of these points, of CVC points. So that means a full 10 bag gives me 6,600 points. And the first bag you buy in a day, it costs 15 gems. So think about that for a second. 6,600 points for 15 gems. That's your first bag that you buy. If you buy like a full energy pot for 130 energy, and you put those energies into like hard spider 10, you're getting back about 2,500 points. So you kind of see how much points you get by doing tag team arena for gems relative to doing just normal hard dungeons for gems. Now, tag arena is going to get much harder, obviously, to be energy efficient, and it's not going to give you as much over time, and you have to micromanage it a little bit. So sometimes dungeons, it just makes sense when you just spam a lot of energy and then just get a lot of points while you're away from the computer or whatever. So that totally makes sense. But in terms of energy efficiency per gem, tag team arena is very, very high up there. And the way you want to capitalize on this is before the day resets before CBC, you want to buy a couple bags so that you're loaded up. And then when CBC day opens, you're going to have your free bag, you're going to have your advanced quest bag, and then you're going to be able to buy a new refresh of bags from the shop for 15 gems each. So for example, here, I still haven't bought my first refresh yet because I was still burning through the old bags that I already had stocked up from the previous day. So if I wanted to, I could buy this bag and hold it for 24 hours so I can use it for tomorrow. Just an example, right? So these tag team bags, tag team fights definitely give you a lot of points. I don't know how great the conversion is once you start getting lower into tag team, maybe like silver, like low silver. I'm not 100% sure, like silver 1. But I think anywhere around here, it's going to get really, really good relative to just spending energy in like dungeons. All right, so the next thing that you guys probably should be doing during personal reward CVC is basically saving up whatever champions you guys are planning to build. What I mean by that, the big thing is actually saving up your first of all 6-star ascensions. Once you go all the way to 6-star, it's actually a decent amount of points. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean by 6-starring a champion right now. So, for example, here I'm going to 6-star Lemonisi. This is just the 6-star ascension, not anything else, not chickening them or anything like that. So just the 6-star ascension, it's 2,500 CVC points. It's very significant. It's way more significant to 6-star them during CVC than it is to 6-star them and get points towards a champion training tournament. So I highly recommend saving your 6-star ascensions for personal reward CVC. You get a good chunk of points just by doing that. Now, the second thing that in the tavern that is something that you guys should be saving for personal reward CVC is actually the books. Spending the books in personal reward CVC gives you a ton of points, tons and tons of points, especially the legendary books. Now, personal reward CVC happens once a month, right? So in 1 month, if you're farming Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss and Nightmare Clan Boss, you should be on pace for about 10 to 12 legendary books a month. This is not including events or anything like that. So you could be picking up some books along the way. But in 1 month, you should be able to book one legendary champion, roughly, that they cost 9 to 10 to 11 legendary books. And you should be spending them during personal reward CVC if you want to make some quick points about it. Each legendary book is 3,000 points. So 10 books going into one champion, which you should have if you're farming Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, should give you 30,000 points. And this doesn't include ascensions, epic books, building champions with leveling or chickens or anything like that. It's just strictly the books. All right. And if you do have ascensions, saving the 6 stars for personal reward CVC, it's going to give you some quick, easy points as well. Now, another big point getter is actually getting brand new champions during personal reward CVC or any CVC. So what you want to do is basically save up key champions that, for example, you are waiting on and maybe in the fragments. Like, for example, I have Noldula. I can definitely pull Noldula during this personal reward CVC for some extra points if I needed to, or you can save it for the champion chase. It really depends on your account, but a brand new legendary champion that you've never gotten before gets you 10,000 points, and it's going to be a new legendary champion, so it's going to be 30,000 points if you pull a champion during CVC that is brand new for your account. If you get a mythical champion, it's going to be 60,000, of course. So saving things like saving Mikage for personal reward CVC, saving any kind of fragment fusion that you need to pull or build that you really want to build for personal reward CVC. It's going to give you a pretty good amount of points. I'm not going to say you guys are going to have one every month to do that, but just keep in mind that's a good amount of points to save. Another big part of your daily advanced quest that actually give you quite a bit of points is faction wars. Now, faction wars is interesting. In normal faction wars, you want to be farming stage 21. 21 gives you the most points. You could do stage 20 on like normal days because stage 20 and 21 are not too much different in terms of rewards. But you want to do 21 for CVC because 21 gives you the most points. And in hard mode, you just want to do as high as possible. Obviously, they're going to give you more and more points. So faction war is actually pretty significant if you can farm a decent amount or a decent level. So I'm going to give it, about 20,000 points over the 2 days or so. You're also going to get a couple thousand points just by pulling stuff from the clan boss. So if you're playing every day, you're getting the chests and stuff. The Ultra Nightmare chest is going to give you 2,000 points right off the bat. 2 days of this, you get 4,000 right off the bat. 2 Nightmare chests, 800 each. So that's 1,600. So that's 5,600 just from these top 2 chests alone. So pretty easy 5,600 points there. Also, if you're just generally active during personal reward CVC, you should be able to at least scrounge together a little bit of energy just to complete whatever event is happening during those 2 days. Maybe you have some inbox energy that you want to spend. Maybe you just need to complete a certain event just to get a certain reward, for example, like Sand Devil, get the Immortal Stone, for example. But I don't think I'm reaching by saying that if you're playing actively for 2 days and you're completing the advanced quest and you're using your daily regeneration energy, that you're probably getting about 900 to 1,000 energy per day without having to stretch too far into spending gems or your inbox energy. And if you just use that energy just in the highest level dungeons, you're going to get some decent return back. Now, another key area that you really want to save up for personal reward CVC, so that's once a month, is the forge. So the forge here is a huge place for players to A, generate silver, B, get gear, and 3, get points for CVC. It's huge, humongous. So if you guys are diligent doing classic arena, you guys are probably looking at about 4,000, 5,000 Magi Steel per month. You guys want to use that Magi Steel during a personal reward CVC so you guys can capitalize on the crafts that are coming out. First of all, you get all that stuff, silver, gear, and CVC points. If you're doing that outside of CVC, you're not getting the CVC points, you're not getting any credit there. So ideally, I recommend saving this crafting for CVC. Now, for example, here, each one of these crafts take 5 Magi Steel. And based on my rough general estimation, you get about 15 CVC points per Magi Steel crafting this 6-star gear with the legendary mats. So you have to be able to farm these legendary mats. This is more so of late game-ish kind of strategy, late game-ish kind of estimate. But if you're still early game, you're just going to get slightly less points, but you're getting roughly about 15 CVC points per Magi Steel. And I'm estimating that you guys, if you guys are diligent doing classic arena, then you guys are getting between 4,000 or 5,000 Magi Steel a month. And if you guys spend 5,000 Magi Steel a month into the forge, that equates to a good chunk of CVC points. Now, pro tip here, if you guys have, for example, these rank and rarity charms, you guys can increase the rarity and rank of your crafts, which boosts the amount of points that you're going to get. So I'm going to show you guys that here quickly. So for example, you put in some of these charms here. For some reason, like I get so many of these charms just from daily farming, and I have very little means of using it. I just don't get enough Magi Steel to use up all of these charms. So I kind of use these charms on just these crafts just to make them, higher value. So we do 10 and it's 870 points. 870 points is actually on the low side. So calculating, you're probably going to get about 1,200 to 1,500 per 10 craft. But if you don't use these charms, you're going to get much less. So that's the thing, right? It's a little bit of a luck thing, but by using these charms, you're going to increase the quality of the gear that you end up crafting, therefore increasing the amount of points that you're going to get. Another pro tip here is actually trying to do Minotaur. If you have the resources kind of allocated to, make scrolls for a champion, doing Minotaur during CVC actually gives you some value for doing Minotaur. Like, for example, spending the gems, or you can level up a champion while you're doing Minotaur. It's not going to be points per gem efficient or even time efficient to do Minotaur. But if you already allocated, for example, I'm going to do scrolls on one champion, might as well wait for CVC to do it. At least you get some points for doing it. The other thing you should look out for is this 2x on this corner, which means you're going to get double the points by doing these objectives. There is a limit on how many points you can get from this double boost. So, don't go crazy on it, but it's obviously very good if you can get some kind of double dipping situation. Like, for example, Ice Golem here is a 2x. If there was an Ice Golem tournament, doing Ice Golem definitely makes a lot of sense. Or if you have just some extra energy that you want to put somewhere, putting it into Ice Golem to get you some easier points or some extra points could be something you can consider. Also, if you're really in a pinch, doing the potion keeps during CVC makes a lot of sense as well. You do get some credit for doing the potion keeps. Usually, I never ever farm the potion keeps because I get plenty of potions from just saving up, just by doing the clan boss and all that stuff. I never seem to run out, so I never actually do the potion keep. But to save your potion keep runs during CVC, it totally makes a lot of sense. And I guess the last thing I want to point out here is gear objectives. So using glyphs is a big thing. So saving your glyph usage during CVC is actually probably one of the only instances where you can actually get credit for using glyphs. So save some of your best glyphs, use them during CVC so you can get some point credit there. That makes a lot of sense. Again, this is just a waiting game. You have to wait, farm for a month, save up your glyphs, and then use them during personal reward CVC so you can get some credit for them. Also, upgrading gear gives you quite a bit of points because it really depends on how much silver you have, but upgrading gear and ascending gear with the Sand Devil or Shogun materials, the resources, it gives you credit during CVC. So this is something that you should save for CVC as well. Basically farm up those resources in the month and then use them during personal reward CVC. If you're using them outside CVC, you're not actually getting credit. Obviously, there's enhancement events. You can get credit for that. But if you have an enhancement event during CVC, then you're double dipping, right? So actually, we have an enhancement event tomorrow, so I'll be doing that. A lot of leveling up. But ascending gear, definitely wait for CVC. You do get some credit there as well. So a lot of wait Shadow Legends here, but this is just being a little bit more smart and efficient with when you want to spend some of these resources. All right, guys. So this is our total up above. Now, I didn't include a lot of stuff, but this is kind of the stuff that I feel like everyone should be able to kind of jump into, and I think is very reasonable. Obviously, like I said, this is more of a late game structure. If you're still early in the game or still in the mid game, early mid game, don't worry too much about trying to optimize points for CVC. It's going to be very difficult for you because you're not able to farm the best dungeons. You're not going to be able to farm them quickly. You won't have enough resources, et cetera, et cetera. CVC should not be your main priority anyways. You won't be very high in tag team as well. But for an end game or late game player, a guideline like this totally makes a lot of sense. 230K here. This is basically, look, tag team battles. You're doing 30. You got 3 days worth of bags. So you're doing 30 per day. Legendary book, you're booking one legendary champion, 30,000 points. Faction wars, you're just doing level 21. You're doing all of it. About 20,000 points over 2 days. You got the Ultra Nightmare chest. That's an easy 5,000 points. You got 2,000 free energy. The energy from the advanced quest, the energy from your regeneration. You probably get some random energy from Grim Forest and Tranos, Doom Tower. That's just going to add up, right? 2,000 energy. You're going to throw that into 50 dungeon runs, and that's going to give you somewhere around 40,000 points. And then all your crafting for the month, right? You're going to save up all your Magi Steel. You're going to funnel it into the Forge in your one personal reward CVC in the month. It's going to get you somewhere around 75,000 points, guys, no doubt. So right there, you already got 230,000 points. We didn't even talk about spending gems to go crazy on dungeon farming or anything like that. We're not going crazy with spending books. We're not going crazy pulling shards. All right, guys. And I didn't even include anything about, leveling up gear, ascending gear. Obviously, that's going to be very account dependent, depending on how much resources you have. So you can kind of see here, this is a rough framework of how you would easily get 400K every single personal reward CVC. And you basically do it without even spending too much resources, but you do need a relatively progressed account to try to hit some of these milestones. But hopefully, guys, I showed you guys in this video that there's a lot of different areas where it doesn't require you to, first of all, spend money or, go really out of your way to try to hit some pretty good CVC point totals. A lot of it is just saving things up, doing things on a regular basis, and then doing them all during CVC. Now, I understand not everyone's going to be able to do that because of time constraints and all that stuff. So obviously work within your own limits, but it's possible, and you don't really need to spend anything. You just need to, allocate your savings towards a limited time event, which is basically CVC. And if you manage to save up even more resources, then these points will become way more easily to you. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for a video. Hopefully it was informative for you guys. I know it's a little bit late for this CVC, but hopefully you guys can bookmark and share this for future CVCs. And like I said, it just gives you a rough framework to try to do everything and where your points and energy should be going toward. And if you guys are watching this, right away on the day of upload, then you guys can prepare for the next personal reward CVC by saving up, whatever I mentioned in this video. But there's a lot of stuff that you can actually do. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It would really help me out. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.